So here we are in Norris Green Park, one of, I think, over 25 sites we've done across the city this year, which is very special. But it's a proper response to how we begin this message of real action for the climate emergency and extinction crisis. And it's also about hope. People want to see you can make a difference in ways that are practical and visible. And this again is a great start, because it shows you can begin to do this very quickly and involve people in the process. It also links to soil and carbon capture across the board with the mosaics of habitats. Again, very close, so people can witness that in their own, close to their own homes. The people and nature equation has been left out so long in the conservation story. And now is the time really to act and build upon all the lessons. Liverpool has got a very special place in that story, but also the wonderful connections, both urban and rural, across the UK. But people and nature are really critical. Starting points, how you start, is the most critical point of all. So in terms of the substrates and the soil, but the way you work and converse with people. These flowers were sown in the spring, and it's a very quick solution. To many ecological restorations, this looks like a quick fix, but it's where this narrative leads you into much more complex associations and project work. But you have to open the conversation, and this is where we start. And then we build to more complex and more dynamic landscapes. Right now, after the terrible pandemic and recovering from that, the exciting thing in terms of what we can do different. So we're facing what I believe can be a renaissance for urban parks and green spaces and the countryside everywhere. It's a pause that has made us think, but certainly the witness that I've seen is that people are using urban green spaces in a very different way. In a way that commands that we update what those spaces are for people. Liverpool, for example, has some of the very first public parks in the world. Birkenhead Park was the blueprint for Central Park in New York. And this wonderful legacy needs to be lifted. And the exciting thing is the witness of this year is the way people have responded to the flowers in some of these heritage situations, which show that we can fit these things into our living landscapes. Private spaces too, and gardens are really critical in terms of what we do in homes, as showcases. The Eden Project in Cornwall, for example, is a great theatre for plants in terms of demonstrating what's possible. And part of the work of the National Wildflower Centre has been demonstrating what's possible in that theatre, and spreading that in again, rural and urban spheres. It is about transformation, transforming the ways we live and work and what we're surrounded by. After I speak, we're going to show you a few examples of project work we've done around the city, again emphasising the long-term way we can fit this into our environments through the way we plant trees with flowers, in terms of the whole woodland ecology. The work we've done with the Woodland Trust has been fantastic, for example. But heathland examples, urban examples on concrete, and unusual substrates, which are really part of a circular economy. Not wasting topsoil, using the substrates that are good for nature in very pragmatic ways. Carbon capture meadows with concrete and biochar should be as much a part of ecological restoration as these leading examples to open the conversation. So it's taking people through successional examples of wildflowers in a very, very special way. It is a different kind. It's like a community ecology in terms of how we present that in terms of communities of flowers, but in the way that this reaches out to the community groups who sow these flowers and ultimately to celebrate them. This involves really new land ethics. Aldo Leopold was a father of ecological restoration in the 1930s. Wonderful people like Tony Bradshaw took this to kind of waste sites, china clay wastes, but it is how we use these materials to best advantage for diversity and culture. It is part of our own heritage in terms of the way we use our landscapes, and that links to communities across the world in the way that we can share these ideas. So what we're talking about really is a new parable of the sower. We've got the sunflowers behind us, reminded of Van Gogh. It's a great thing to see. People really love the flowers, but these annuals and other things are some of the rarest habitats in Europe, and we shouldn't forget that in these open conversations because it takes us to another place. But it's how we deliver this, seed in the hand, on the ground, and then people coming. We've just been talking to some people who've witnessed it. The change is dramatic and it's appreciated. So this is like, in a way, generates a movement of what you can do quite quickly and then leading to more complicated things. It's also about celebrating that. So when we talk about here in Liverpool, the Scouse Flower House and the Northern Flower House, we want to make people smile, but we regularly bring music and good food. It's interesting, somebody's grown some pumpkins on the edge of the field here. And it is celebration and coming back when the flowers are full in flower and celebrating the fact.